The variable fillet is a subset of the edge fillet dialog box. So let's select the edge fillet dialog box, and here we see that there's an option to do variable. We'll get to that in just a moment. Here we'll point out that our model on the right is what we're going to try to make look like our model on the left. Now both of these are within the same part. This is a single part. The smaller radiuses are 5 millimeters and the larger radiuses are all 20. Let's put a regular edge fillet along here first. So notice we're here, we have a 20 millimeters, and let's select this edge. And notice here right in the middle there is a little parameter for 20 millimeters. Now as soon as we switch this to variable, now we get parameters at both ends. And let's select one of these and click it, and we will change it to 5. We double clicked it. There we go. So now we have a 5 at one end. If you zoom way in there, you'll see a 5. And if you zoom out and get over here to the other side, you'll see that that's a 20. Okay. And we'll leave all the other options the same. In particular, this one called cubic. Okay, that's the default. And we'll say OK. And now let's make that purple. Okay, great. So here's our first variable fillet. Now let's do another one right here and maybe change up one of the options. So let's select the edge fillet definition. We'll select variable, and we'll select here. Now, because our last number was 5, you'll notice that it's 5 at both ends, and you really got to zoom in to get that 5. That's why sometimes I like to start with my edge fillet just being a regular edge fillet and change it to 20, do a preview, and then switch it to variable. Because now I can grab this 20 a lot easier than I can grab a 5. And I'll double click it and I'll change it to 5. Okay. Now we're going to change for this one a variation from cubic to linear. And we will say OK, and we'll change it to purple. There we go. So we see the linear variation method is a lot different in look than the one for cubic. Okay. Now let's see if we can change from 20 to 20 to 5 to 5. Okay, so we'll select our edge fillet definition. We're currently set on 5s. Let's change that to 20. And then let's start picking. We'll pick this edge, and we'll go to variable. Now we get a 20 and a 20. And then we'll pick this edge, and we get a 20 and a 20 on that one. We'll change this one to a 5 by double-clicking it. And then we'll finally pick this last edge, and since we're on 5s, we'll get 2 5s for it. And we will leave our variation method to cubic, because along here it very much looks like a cubic. Okay, and we'll say OK, and we'll switch it to magenta. There we go. Okay. Now for this one, we're going to show that not only can you change the endpoints, but you can also change the radiuses of points along this edge. Okay, so let's select our edge fillet dialog box. Let's select here. Now we are going to select variable. We get 5 at both ends. Now we're going to put our focus here in the points. We'll select in here. That's called changing your focus. Now it's blue, and we can add more points. I've already created a point here. The point of this exercise is not to learn how to create points. That's in another demonstration. If we already have them created, we can select them. And now I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to change that one to a 20. You'll notice our focus is still in the points input area. And can we select things besides points? Well, if we select a plane, we also get the option to set a radius there. And I'm going to leave that at 20. And we're going to leave this at cubic, and we'll say OK. And we'll change this to magenta. Okay. So here we see that along the way we can change the radius. Now, if I want to double-click this plane and I were to change the plane definition, let's decrease the plane. You see our fillet moves with it because the fillet is tied to the intersection of that plane in our curve. Okay, and I'll cancel that. Okay. So now let's do an inside edge variable fillet. Let's select edge fillet and let's switch to variable. It's already on 20. We'll select here, we get a 20 and a 20. And now we'll come around here to this edge and we'll select 20 and 20 on it also. And double click this one. Let's get in there a little bit more so we can see it. There we go. Double click it and change it to 5. Okay. And we'll say OK. And we'll do a magenta. Now, this is a 20 on both sides of this edge here. Now, in the previous videos, we've done what we call edges to keep, or rolling edge fillets, where this would be a nice rounded corner around here. Let's see if we can add that into the variable fillet definition. Let's double click it and let's go to the More option. Okay, and under More there is an edges to keep. So if we select edges to keep by changing our focus and then picking this edge, let's see if it'll roll around there smoothly. Let's do a preview. No, it won't. It turns out that these edges to keep with variable fillets are pretty cantankerous, and so occasionally you may get one to work, but most of the time they won't. All right, so we'll cancel that then. Okay, and that brings us to the end of this demo on variable fillets.